Ever found yourself in a friends with benefits situation where the lines just started to blur? You're not alone. Today, we're diving deep into the FWB world to uncover the unspoken rules, manage the messy emotions, and help you decide if it's truly serving you or if it's time to redefine. Welcome back, beautiful people, to the Relationship and Hookup Compass, your go-to guide for all things love, lust, and everything in between. I'm your host, Chloe, and today we're diving headfirst into a topic that's as common as it is complex: friends with benefits. We're going to unravel the unspoken rules, tackle the tricky emotions, and ultimately help you decide if your friends with benefits situation is truly serving you, or if it's quietly evolving into something more, or even less. So, what exactly is a friends with benefits relationship? At its core, an FWB arrangement is a consensual, non romantic, and often physical relationship between two people who are already friends. The key here is non-romantic. It's designed to offer the physical intimacy of a relationship without the emotional commitment, expectations, or labels that typically come with dating. It's about enjoying the physical benefits of a connection without the pressure of a traditional partnership. Many people enter FWB arrangements for various reasons. Maybe you're not ready for a serious relationship, but still crave intimacy. Perhaps you're focused on your career, your studies, or simply enjoying your single life, but still want a reliable, consensual sexual partner. It could be that you've just come out of a long-term relationship and aren't looking to jump into anything serious. Or, quite simply, you might have a strong physical connection with a friend and decide to explore it. The appeal of FWB relationships is often the perceived simplicity and lack of strings. You get to maintain your independence, avoid the intensity of a romantic relationship, and still satisfy your physical needs. It sounds ideal on paper, right? But as anyone who's been in one knows, the lines can get incredibly blurry, and what starts as simple can quickly become complicated. Now, while there aren't official handbooks for FWB relationships, there are definitely some unspoken and often unstated rules that tend to govern these arrangements. Ignoring these can lead to confusion, hurt feelings, and even the loss of a friendship. The first and arguably most important rule is clear communication from the outset. Both parties must be on the same page about what this arrangement is, and more importantly, what it isn't. Are you exclusive physically, even if you're not exclusive romantically? Are you allowed to date other people? What happens if one of you starts developing feelings? These are crucial conversations that need to happen early and often. It's not a one-and-done chat. It's an ongoing dialogue. Another crucial rule is managing expectations. This is perhaps the biggest pitfall of FWB relationships. If one person secretly hopes for more, while the other is strictly looking for casual encounters, it's a recipe for disaster. Be honest with yourself and your FWB about what you expect. Don't assume your friend will magically develop feelings for you, or that this will naturally evolve into a serious relationship. Assume it won't, and if it does, it's a pleasant surprise. Then there's the rule of keeping emotions out of it. This is easier said than done, especially for some. The idea is that you separate the physical intimacy from emotional attachment. You're friends, yes, but the benefits part is supposed to be purely physical. However, humans are wired for connection. Shared intimacy, especially physical intimacy, often fosters a sense of closeness and can easily lead to emotional attachment, even when you try to suppress it. This is where the blurred lines truly come into play. And finally, the rule of discretion. While you don't need to shout your FWB arrangement from the rooftops, it's generally understood that this is a private matter. Discuss with your FWB what you're comfortable sharing with mutual friends or others. Maintaining a level of discretion can help prevent awkward social situations and protect the integrity of your friendship. Let's be real. FWB relationships are an emotional minefield for many. Even if you go in with the best intentions and clear boundaries, feelings can and often do develop. This is where things get truly complicated. One common scenario is when one person catches feelings. This is perhaps the most frequent reason FWB arrangements go south. You might find yourself falling for your friend, interpreting their casual gestures as signs of deeper affection, or hoping that the physical intimacy will eventually lead to a committed relationship. This can be incredibly painful, especially if your feelings aren't reciprocated. It can lead to resentment, jealousy, and ultimately a broken heart and a lost friendship. On the flip side, you might also find yourself feeling used or undervalued. Even if you initially agreed to a casual arrangement, if you start to feel like you're only valued for the benefits and not as a friend, it can erode your self-esteem and lead to feelings of resentment. This is especially true if your FWB starts dating other people seriously, and you're left feeling like a convenient placeholder. Then there's the issue of jealousy and possessiveness. Even in a casual arrangement, seeing your FWB with someone else or hearing about their other romantic pursuits can trigger feelings of jealousy. This is a clear indicator that emotional boundaries are being crossed and that the no strings attached facade is starting to crack. And what about the impact on your future relationships? If you're constantly in a FWB dynamic, it can potentially hinder your ability to form deeper, more committed romantic relationships. You might become accustomed to the low-stakes nature of the FWB, making it harder to navigate the complexities and vulnerabilities of a traditional partnership. It can also create a pattern where you gravitate towards casual connections rather than seeking out genuine romantic compatibility. The million-dollar question: can a friends with benefits arrangement truly evolve into a committed romantic relationship? And if so, how? The short answer is yes, it can happen, but it's often an uphill battle, and it's not the norm. Sometimes, over time, the shared intimacy and companionship in an FWB can deepen into genuine romantic feelings for both parties. You might realize that you enjoy spending time together beyond the bedroom, that you share common values, and that there's a strong emotional connection developing. If both individuals are open to it and clearly communicate their evolving feelings, it is possible to transition from FWB to a committed relationship. This often requires a very intentional conversation about what you both want and a willingness to redefine your dynamic. However, more often than not, an FWB arrangement will either stay casual or fizzle out. If one person develops feelings and the other doesn't, the arrangement almost always ends. It becomes unsustainable for the person with unrequited feelings, and trying to maintain the FWB can be emotionally damaging. It can also fizzle out naturally as one or both parties find more serious romantic interests. This is often the best case scenario for an FWB ending, as it avoids much of the heartbreak. The key here is to have the maturity to acknowledge when the arrangement has run its course and to move on gracefully, ideally preserving the friendship. And sometimes, sadly, an FWB can evolve into something less, meaning it can damage or even destroy the underlying friendship. If boundaries are repeatedly crossed, if communication breaks down, or if one person feels exploited, the friendship that formed the foundation of the FWB can be irrevocably harmed. This is the biggest risk of entering into an FWB arrangement, sacrificing a valuable friendship for temporary physical intimacy. So, with all this information, how do you decide if a friends with benefits arrangement is truly serving you? It comes down to honest self reflection and a clear understanding of your own needs and desires. First, be brutally honest about your intentions and feelings. Are you genuinely comfortable with a casual arrangement, or are you secretly hoping for more? If you have even a slither of hope that this will become a serious relationship, you are likely setting yourself up for disappointment. It's crucial to acknowledge this from the start. Second, assess the emotional toll. Are you happy and fulfilled in the FWB arrangement, or are you experiencing anxiety, jealousy, confusion, or sadness? If the negative emotions outweigh the positive ones, it's a clear sign that the arrangement isn't serving you. Your emotional well-being should always be your top priority. Third, consider your long-term relationship goals. If your ultimate goal is a committed, long-term partnership, is the FWB arrangement helping or hindering that goal? Are you spending energy on something that isn't moving you closer to what you truly want? Sometimes being in an FWB can distract you from pursuing more compatible romantic connections. Fourth, evaluate the state of your friendship. Is the FWB enhancing your friendship or eroding it? Are you still able to be genuine friends, or is the physical aspect overshadowing the friendship? If the friendship is suffering, it might be time to reevaluate. Finally, don't be afraid to end it. If the FWB isn't working for you, for whatever reason, you have every right to end it. It takes courage, but it's an act of self-respect. Communicate clearly and kindly, and prioritize your own well-being. It's okay to say, "This isn't working for me anymore." If you've come to the conclusion that your friends with benefits arrangement isn't serving you, or if it's simply run its course, it's important to handle the breakup with grace and respect, especially if you value the friendship. Choose the right time and place. Find a private setting where you can talk openly and honestly without interruptions. Be clear and direct. Avoid ambiguity. Use I statements to express your feelings and intentions. For example, I've realized that this FWB arrangement isn't working for me anymore because I'm looking for something more committed. Or I'm finding it difficult to separate my emotions and I need to prioritize my well-being. Focus on your needs, not their faults. Frame the conversation around what you need and feel, rather than blaming your FWB. This helps to de-escalate any potential defensiveness. Be prepared for their reaction. They might be understanding, disappointed, or even angry. Whatever their reaction, remain calm and empathetic. Discuss the future of the friendship. If you want to maintain the friendship, express that clearly, but also acknowledge that it might take time and space for things to adjust. Be prepared for the possibility that the friendship might not survive, especially if feelings were involved. Sometimes a clean break is necessary to heal. Set new boundaries. If you do decide to remain friends, discuss what that will look like. Does it mean no more physical contact? No more late-night texts? Be clear about the new terms of your friendship. All right, let's do a quick recap of everything we've covered today on the Relationship and Hookup Compass regarding friends with benefits relationships. We started by defining FWB relationships as consensual, non-romantic, physical arrangements between friends, often chosen for perceived simplicity and lack of commitment. We then delved into the unspoken rules of FWB, emphasizing the critical importance of clear communication, managing expectations, keeping emotions out of it as much as possible, and maintaining discretion. We highlighted that failing to adhere to these rules is often where things go wrong. Next, we explored the emotional minefield of FWB, discussing common pitfalls like one person catching feelings, feeling used or undervalued, the onset of jealousy, and the potential impact on future relationships. We acknowledge that human emotions are complex and often defy strict boundaries. We then address the big question: can an FWB evolve into something more, a committed relationship, or something less, a fizzled out or damaged friendship? While evolution to a relationship is possible, it's not common, and the risk of losing a friendship is significant. Finally, we discussed how to decide if FWB is serving you, urging you to be honest about your intentions, assess the emotional toll, consider your long-term goals, and evaluate the health of your friendship. We wrapped up with advice on gracefully ending an FWB, emphasizing clear communication, focusing on your needs, and respecting their reaction. The bottom line, my friends, is that friends with benefits relationships are a spectrum. They can work for some people in certain stages of life, but they come with inherent risks, especially to the friendship itself and your emotional well-being. Always, always prioritize your own happiness and mental health. That's all for this episode of Relationship and Hookup Compass. I hope this deep dive into friends with benefits has given you some valuable insights and tools to navigate these often tricky waters. Remember, whether it's FWB, a hookup, or a full-blown romance, communication and self-awareness are your most powerful compasses. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Relationship and Hookup Compass. I genuinely hope this episode provides you with valuable insights and practical steps to enhance your intimate life and navigate safely. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next episode. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. What are your biggest tips for friends with benefits relationships? Until next time, remember to navigate your relationships with compassion, curiosity, and courage. See you soon.